Tammy Sytch was finally arrested on Friday night. But don't hit the road with the family just yet, because she's already back out on the streets. The cops were waiting for her toxicology results to come back, stemming from the auto accident that she caused in March, which led to the death of a 75-year-old man who was sitting in the car, waiting at a stoplight when she plowed into him and killed him. They got a warrant at the time to test her blood since they couldn't administer a sobriety test on the scene. I mean, the woman was just involved in an accident. But they believed her to be under the influence, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, they were correct. In a press release, they said that her blood alcohol level was 0.28, 3.5 times over the legal limit while operating a motor vehicle. I don't know how she was able to even stand up straight, let alone drive a car. But according to her on Twitter, it was a seizure. Or whoever's been posting on her Twitter, it was a seizure. She had a seizure that caused the accident. Maybe her defense can be that she drank so much, the alcohol caused the seizure. But she was arrested Friday night at the Hard Rock Hotel in Daytona Beach, Florida. She was transported to the Volusia County Jail for booking. That should be the last booking she ever gets. Shout out to Don Tony. He was the first one I saw post her mugshot online. She could put together an entire scrapbook with all the different ones that she's had taken over the years. And of all the mugshots that she's ever had taken, this one, the one for killing someone, is the one where she's cracking a smile. She's been hit with a total of 9 charges, including DUI manslaughter, driving with a suspended or revoked license causing death or serious injury, and 7 counts of DUI causing damage to a person or property. And prosecutors intend to pursue the DUI manslaughter charge as a second-degree felony. That she recklessly caused the death of another human being. Not that she necessarily went out that night expecting to, or planning to kill somebody, but she clearly got herself sauced, got behind the wheel, and she recklessly caused this man's death. If she's convicted, she's facing a very long time behind bars. Doesn't mean that she'll get the maximum sentence, but she should. And don't forget, and I do think they should throw the max at her. They should throw the fucking book at her. But don't forget, she still has other charges pending against her in the state of New Jersey. If she gets convicted in Florida, that doesn't mean those other charges just magically go away. She also faces up to $10,000 in fines. The bond amount she was being held on was around $227,000. And she bonded out the very next day after her court appearance. A bail bondsman posted a surety bond for her. I'm sure whatever was paid was nowhere close to that total amount, but exactly how much it was, I don't claim to know. What I do know is that it means this menace is once again free to roam the streets and get behind the wheel, even though she's had her license suspended or revoked and should not be driving. She also has a civil suit pending against her and her boyfriend by the estate of the man that she killed, alleging negligence on their part. You know, the laws are what the laws are. I went over this last time because I have a lot of the same questions that you probably do. When I hear this and I hear about this story, how is it that this woman, after all of the offenses and the fact that she was caught driving without a valid license, how is this woman still free? It is a flaw in the justice system that allows this sort of thing to keep happening. I hope if she has a passport that they had the legal means to take it away from her so she can't flee. She clearly has the financial means to do so with the money she rakes in from her OnlyFans. This woman does not belong out on the streets. She deserves to be put under the jail at this point. She has squandered every chance that has ever been given to her. More chances than most people would get. And the minute that she took the life of an innocent person, which was completely predictable and preventable, the minute she did that and then went on social media to play victim and made it all about herself, that told me everything I needed to know about what a despicable human being this woman is. If Dark Side of the Ring is hard up for content, because apparently they are going to be having a 4th season at some point. If they need content, they could do an entire season on Tammy alone. The rise and fall of Tammy Sytch. Think of the absurdity of this. She still has a separate court date later this month on May 26th. She is due back in court in New Jersey from her arrest in February on 11 charges. That brings the total number of charges against her in the last few months, pending against her across 2 different states, to 20. 20 different charges. 11 in New Jersey and now another 9 in Florida. It's no wonder she never feels any kind of accountability for her actions. She thinks she's bulletproof. And I know that she spent a year in prison and she spent another year, I think it was, or almost a year, in a correctional facility. She has spent some time locked up. Clearly, it did not leave any kind of an impression on this woman. She doesn't seem to care. Which would explain why she was smiling in her mugshot. I mean, you talk about an evil human being. You look at that mugshot, I mean, that just reeks of evil. Reality for her may not have set in yet, that she is in a world of trouble. And when it does, if it finally does, if it ever does, that's what scares me even more about her being let out. If she feels, last time that this happened, when the accident happened in March, I had people who tweeted me and wrote into me and say, oh my God, you just predicted this a month ago. Because when she was arrested the month before, I did a whole segment out on the show and I posted it on YouTube. And people were saying, oh my God, I was just listening to your clip last week when you made the comment about being worried that she's going to kill somebody. Is that what it's going to take for her to finally wake up and realize the error of her ways? And the answer is no, clearly. But to me, it was just common sense that if she keeps being let go, even if it's only temporary because the investigation is ongoing or charges are pending and the wheels of justice, as we know, turn very slowly, still, she was doing these different things and was being let out and was living her life. And so in her mind, there's no accountability there. She can just keep doing what she's doing. And that was my fear. At some point, she's going to do what she's doing and somebody else is going to pay a price for it. I wasn't even worried so much about what she might do to herself if she was in an accident. But what if she hurts somebody else? What if she kills somebody else? What if she kills a kid, let alone a 75-year-old man? And we're right back here all over again. She's back out. She's got no restraints. She's got no influence or person in her life who can clearly talk some sense into her. You can't tie her to a radiator and lock her in the fucking closet. She's going to go out and do what she always does. And that's what scares me the most. And the other thing also is, if reality does begin to set in for her, and she feels the walls are closing in and she starts to feel desperate, or she realizes, oh shit, I'm screwed and there ain't no getting out of this, there's no telling what this woman is liable to do. Because a woman who can't even acknowledge the fact this horrible accident happened, a person lost their life, there's no contrition, there's nothing, there's no emotion. She's just like a blank slate. Truly, I mean, I've heard, a narcissistic sociopath. That's what this woman is. She is a complete narcissist. Doesn't care about anybody else but herself. What is she likely to do if she feels like the walls are closing in and she has no other options? She'll crash and burn. Literally crash and burn. I just hope it's not into somebody else. She may feel like there's nothing to lose or there's nothing left to live for. These are serious charges. This woman is in for a rude awakening. She is not as Teflon as she may think. And it's sad that it took somebody losing their life for it to happen. So she'll have her day in court. I just hope we don't hear about another tragedy in the meantime while she's out free.